Ladies and gentlemen, it's Titoclock. So please welcome your host, James Deacon.
What's up, everybody? Tito James here with the rest of the gang. Welcome to Titoclock. It is a Friday. That means the weekend is just around the corner, and we're ready to celebrate. Oh my gosh! Ian beat. Oh, Chris beat May. Oh, whoa! Mayan, you're third. I don't even know why we do this. We shouldn't really be counting. I mean, come on. It's just a little thing that we've got going on. But good to see everybody here, the regulars here. Ian, Chris Williams, Mayan, John, Martin, Tristan, RC Estrado, Maria Victoria, Tatay. It's moving fast. Ryan Lokiao, Marisa Mendoza, Katha Sajan. Let's do a few more. Donna Marcos. We'll do about 5 more, and then we'll call it a Mark Ortega. It's Friday. Yes. Rafi Barrera, Sharon Yu. What's up? Raquel Laurente, and a couple more. Kat, Gabrielle, one lucky last. Who's it going to be? Gwen Ajin Pajarillo. Hey, so thanks for joining in. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Great to have you on the show. Oh, yeah, like Albert does over there, pop in where you're from. Just gives us an idea. Lets us see, get a visual of where you guys are, right? You might be in Pangasinan as well. You might be also somewhere out of the country. Who knows, right? Always good to hear from you. Always good to know where you guys are coming in from. And yeah, we got a big show as usual for you today. Got a lot of goodies as well to give away, including that staycation, which is going to be pretty awesome. Who doesn't love a good staycation? And we got a really great place, and it's worth about, I think it's almost 13,000, 12,000 something for the room, but it's really nice. It's a suite, Alpha Suites. We'll tell you more about that later on. But in the meantime, we would like to start off how we always do, which is just getting on the same page and finding out what on earth is going on in the world out there. For that, we need Chris. Chris, what you got there for us?
Hello, Tito Boys, and happy Friday, my fellow Tito Clockers. This is Chris from Quezon City, and here is your Tito Clock news. Independent pandemic monitor Octa Research said today that Metro Manila is heading into yet another surge, though most indicators remain low for the time being, 4 days after the official lifting of compulsory wearing of masks outdoor. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. lifted the compulsory wearing of masks outdoors, except in areas where people cannot observe social distancing. People are still required to wear masks in indoor establishments and public transportation. Octa Research Fellow Guido David observed the following upticks in COVID-19 indicators in Metro Manila. Positivity rate, 14.5% as of September 14. Reproduction number, 1.14% as of September 12. Average daily attack rate, 6.12 per 100,000 population, which is moderate. 1 week growth rate, 18%. Healthcare utilization rate, 39% as of September 14. ICU occupancy rate, 33% as of September 14. Earlier, Octa Research also noted separate spikes in Pangasinan, Rizal, and Bulacan. David also said these numbers are still considered low. The rise in cases in the NCR is likely to cause corresponding rise in infections in nearby regions. In the absence of a law postponing the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan or SK elections for December this year, the Commission on Elections or COMELEC is calling on aspiring candidates to file their certificates of candidacy or COCs next month. Speaking at yesterday's press conference, COMELEC Chairman George Garcia said the filing of COCs for the December 5, 2022 Barangay and SK polls will be on October 6 to 13. He said the candidacies of those who are to file their COCs in October will still be valid in the event of rescheduled polls. However, the validity of the COC does not apply to those who would be considered overage at the time of the reset SK elections. Still geared toward holding the polls in December, COMELEC shall declare the start of the election period and the gun ban on October 6th. He said they have already started printing the manual ballots and procuring at least 20,000 ballot boxes to be used for the electoral exercise. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA said Typhoon Nanmadol is expected to enter Philippine territory this afternoon, but it will only linger in the northeastern boundary of the country for a few hours. The Bureau said the typhoon rapidly intensified before its anticipated entry into Philippine territory. Once it enters the country, it will be given the domestic name Josie, the 10th tropical cyclone for the year and the second for September. It is expected to exit by Friday night or early morning of Saturday. Nanmadol is forecast to remain far from the Philippine landmass. However, the southwest monsoon enhanced by the typhoon will bring rains over the western sections of southern Luzon and Visayas in the next 24 hours. Pag-asa warned of moderate to heavy with at times intense rains over Occidental Mindoro, Palawan, Antique, Aklan, and Negros Occidental. Light to moderate with at times heavy rains are forecast over Oriental Mindoro, Western Visayas, Zamboanga Peninsula, and BARMM. Cebuana multi-sport athlete Moira Frances Gabriel Herediano is now in Desaru, Malaysia as part of the Philippine team sent by the Triathlon Association of the Philippines or TRAP for the Southeast Asian Triathlon Association race this weekend. The 17-year-old Cebuana is also joined by the country's top triathletes Nico Huelgas, Katrina Salazar, and Juan Francisco Baniked with their coaches George Villog and Anthony Lozada. Herediano will be vying in the junior elite sprint category. The race features a fast-paced 750-meter swim, 20K bike, and 5K run. Herediano and the rest of the Philippine team will compete against triathletes from other Southeast Asian countries. This will be Herediano's second international race after placing second in last August's Tri-Factor Dong Nai Vietnam Duathlon event. In July, Herediano shone in the duathlon competition in Tagudin, Ilocos Sur, and topped the 15 to 19 years old category of the Sun Life 5150 race. Her biggest win was during the Dumaguete City Triathlon last April, where she finished as the fastest overall female in the race. Those were the latest in headlines. Keep your pulse and blood pressure stable because I'm about to present today's set of sweet potatoes from Kamote Corner.
What did you say before blood pressure?
Your pulse?
Your,
Your pulse? Your pulse. Ang pulso.
I heard something so completely different. I was like, should I even ask?
Really?
All right, go. My pulse is under control.
All right. That's great, Tito. All right. Everyone ready? Because the first one is called a handicapped motorcycle or handicapped motorcycles. Because they are parked in the PWD parking.
Of course, right there. In the only part where they can access, that little space that they get. Just that little space that we afford them. Kinuha pa. Grabe.
Yeah. Pila yung motorsiklo.
Pilay sa isip.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best to control my blood pressure. That's why I'm quiet. Because I'm just like, if I blow up now on the first one, I don't think I'll make it through the rest.
No, you might not. Okay, ready yourself for the next one. This is not for the faint of heart because this is actually a road accident. So please be careful, guys. Let's see the next video. Let's see. Even X is not ready. Here we go. There. Yeah, I mean it could happen everywhere. So
it was. I mean, it's fast, but it doesn't look like it was super serious, right?
I'm not sure, but the two of them.
All right. Well, nobody wishes anybody any harm here, right? But this is your classic, absolute, one of the dumbest things you can do on a motorcycle, and yet I see it all the time. This speeding down the side there when there's parked cars, parked traffic. When cars are stopped, the possibility of somebody poking out like that is almost actually the chance of them not doing it is really, really slim. That's why you should always assume
Balik.
people are going to poke out, cars are going to be coming out. It's the most, I think if you really worked out, probably be the most common sort of inner city accident type of thing. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what the statistics are, but look, just by looking at it, happens all the time because you're begging for it. You're begging for it. When people are stopped, they're stopped for a reason, and then people will always go in between. They're trying to get
That's
out of driveways. They're trying to get pedestrians are crossing. We live in a country where they don't respect the pedestrian crossings and stuff. So you really
that,
have to be attuned to it. You have to expect the unexpected here, and that is just the most grossly irresponsible way of handling it. I mean, but even then, I hope they're okay.
true, true, true. We hope everyone's okay, and everyone, please be careful while on the road, especially when you're crossing.
Should just also say before the next one that goes for both parties as well.
Yeah.
It's really the guy that's speeding along this side. He's the main, he or she.
Yes.
I don't want to just automatically assume it's the gender, but he or she should be going very, very slow and
Mm-hmm.
actually not even overtaking, because if it looks like this is not a place where you should be overtaking, but also the one that's coming in should also a little bit just be a little bit more aware too that these things also
Yes.
happen. Not to say that that's it. I'm not trying to put the blame on the person there, because they do have a right. I can't see what's going on there, but assume, let's say that guy's coming out of a driveway,
Mm-hmm.
then he does have the right of way. I'll just say he, but we're not being gender specific, right?
Yeah.
Does have the right of way,
Yeah.
but right of way doesn't mean so much when you're lying in a hospital bed, right? So
That's that's true.
that's what you always have to keep in mind. Right of way is fine as far as rule of law and in insurance purposes, but it ain't gonna help you when you're in a hospital bed. So,
True.
or you won't comfort yourself, and it won't make your wounds feel any better. Go, well, tama ako eh.
Nope, because it already happened. It's
Yeah,
like
so sad to
you
say,
know.
it's kind of jungle law out there. You gotta be defensive. Somebody else said
Mm-hmm.
there, or
Yeah,
said that. Be
being a
a defensive
defensive driver
driver.
is a must.
He's right. I mean, I get riled up about this because when I used to get a lot more riled up, but I understand that you have to, folks, right? You have to be a defensive driver. Um, the reason I used to get riled up, and I still do to a certain degree, but I've controlled it, is because they
Mm-hmm.
tend to abuse this whole right of way thing, meaning the opposite side, the kamote side. They abuse it. They're like, well, they know they're going to stop because they're going to be defensive. So you create a pattern and a loop
That's
because they
true. Yeah.
expect you to give way to them, even if it's not the right of way. But then the extreme naman is to going, it's my right of way, and you go through and then you get hurt. So
No.
it's better to be a defensive driver, but let's all please respect right of way, because these are road rules. We have to
And
have one set of rules for all. And these rules, you can't communicate while you're on the road. So we have to have
mm-hmm.
one language out there. So that's
That's
why I get, mm. Is that a pedestrian that crossed or a motorcycle?
I'm sorry, what?
Anyway, let's move on to the next. I think I made my point. There's nothing more. It's a
It is.
pedestrian. It's a
Yes,
pedestrian.
it's
Shit.
pedestrian. Probably just
That
came
hurt.
from
That really
groceries
hurts.
shopping. Yeah.
That,
Whew,
that that could be serious actually. So I hope everyone's okay.
that's true. All right, we're halfway there. The third one is called Nagbayad ka na ba ng toll gate?
Hello, Roxanne. Hope
Hi,
everyone
Rox.
good luck.
Ayan. So if you could hear the sound from the video, the people from the inside the car is trying to ask the person in the bicycle, nagbayad ka ba ng toll gate? Probably not. Wala siyang RFID. Kaway-kaway na. So, ayun. Yeah, we see a lot of
Good.
those when we're in the highway. Hi, kuya.
And siguro naman half pricing toll niya, no? At least. Sana.
Sana. But I
Shouldn't be
don't
there.
think. All
Okay, yeah.
right. The
And somebody
next
said that the bike is 400 cc. That could be true. He could have 400 cc of water,
water.
And his water
Environmental
bottle is
si
400.
kuya. Mhm.
Okay, go.
Very healthy si kuya. Okay, the next one is something that we see from a movie scene. So, again, Viewer discretion is advised. Woo!
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw this. This is in McDonald's in Bacoor ba? No,
Bacoor.
San Pablo.
Not
I
good.
think no. Anyway, it's in a McDonald's, and
Okay. I
like
wonder
this.
how
I
that.
did anyone get hurt, by the way? I hope not. That's pretty bad.
Hope
That's like, and look, it's not a Mitsubishi, so it's not.
so.
A lot of people would say, "Oh, Mitsubishi." This happens a lot, and I really don't personally believe it's a car.
No, it's not
You
the
know,
guards.
it's proven it.
It's the driver.
Yeah, and just because he turned it into a drive-through, but that's pretty bad. Anyway,
No.
ah,
Drive-through tuloy. Okay, ayan. Last but not the least, Tito James would look better with the sound on, pero it goes with the tune. Sa kapunta to the moon. Road trip. Vroom vroom. Skirt skirt. Zoom zoom. Let's see it. Ayan. Sa
oh,
kapunta.
oh, oh, oh,
Road trip.
oh, oh, oh,
Skirt skirt. Vroom vroom. Quick quick.
oh, 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 oh.
Dami niyang effort. Nope.
Ay, kuya.
Nope. Nope. Did not go to the moon.
So that's what. I mean, that's a barrier, right? He's just trying to get
Yeah.
over the barrier.
Yes. I don't know why. I don't know why he
I'm
did
sorry.
this.
Why does why
Ayaw,
don't you just?
kaya pa ba
God,
niya?
this is just like, oh my god,
Ah,
this it looks almost staged for likes and stuff. This is just so. Yeah, he must really be in a hurry. I mean, like, look at this.
gonna be
Imagine
late.
the damage it's causing to the bike.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Grabe.
Possible pang matiketan siya ni Kuya.
Wala akong masabi. Wala akong masabi. And look at the
No.
pedestrian they're walking as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think the pedestrian's actually stopping. Anyway. Yeah, there's it might be security. Yeah, walking up.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. MMDA is coming. Yeah.
Yes, MMDA is coming. Bala kayo mag-usap. Anyway, Tito James, that's all we have for today. And we made it! Woohoo! Blood pressure stable and the pulse is stable. Congratulations in advance to our raffle winners. And of course, I'd like to remind everyone to please stay away from kamote people, but choose happiness instead with some Sugar Rush, who is on social media. So please follow us at Sugar Rush Entertainment PH. It's right down there scrolling for your party entertainment needs. Or you may shoot me a DM as well. Keep it clean, guys. My name is Chris Napeñas. Have a fabulous weekend, everybody. Stay safe, healthy, and hydrated. See you on the next one. Bye!
Bye. That was Chris with the latest in headlines. I think a lot of our viewers here were pointing out that it's, I guess, the guy they assume is running away from the MMDA who's coming after them. So that's why they're trying to do that. Because I was saying, what on earth? Why? Why don't you just go straight? But obviously, I think that's the most plausible explanation, is that the guy was trying to avoid the MMDA was walking up. So, okay, good catch, guys. Going on the wrong side, Maria said. So, okay, that makes sense. So, thanks, Chris. Chris with the latest in the headlines. And of course, as usual, we always like to give her a plug because she does a wonderful job here. And if you like her voice and want her to do some voice work for you, give her a buzz. Send her a message over there. She does all that for us, and she can do it for you too. So, that's how we like to spread it around. And another way we like to do it as well, regulars know all of this. They know all about it, but for the newbies that just joined us, we call it Free Plug Friday. It's another way to just support local businesses by giving them a little bit of exposure and helping them get the word about their product, especially if they haven't got a budget or they pivoted into this for the pandemic. And for that, we need XX. What you got in the box there, X?
Hi, DJs. You actually have a lot in store once again. But before we go there, I just want to say hi to all the Titoclockers, especially May and June. Welcome to another edition of Free Plug Friday. All right, Tito James, we start with Colby's Magic. I think you have the food there, right?
Are these ones?
Yes. What are you holding there, Tito James?
What are we holding? What is this?
I think that's
looks
Biko.
This is Biko?
That's actually Biko, yes. That's a
Okay.
Filipino delicacy. So These guys are located in Jose Abad Santos in San Juan, and their name is Kobe's Magic because the name was inspired because the owners have two kids named Kobe and Magic, hence the name. So Tita James, how about you give it a try?
Okay, let's give it a try.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna pull up the logo here for now. Let's see.
Wow.
That's the
Chris,
logo,
you
and I'm. Is it good?
Chris would love this because this is Sugar Rush.
Oh yeah.
So Chris,
That's
we got the mascot for you. It's really good though.
that's actually one of their bestsellers, the Biko, and another bestseller we have is their Bilo Bilo. So Bilo Bilo, I can't eat it. But more for you, Tito James. You actually have two kinds of Bilo Bilo here that I can send over there.
Yeah, because I actually want to try them as
All
much as
right,
possible.
go.
Maybe, but at
Please
least a
show what
few.
that is.
Big
All
was
right.
really good. Super sweet.
Okay,
So this
so
is
the
also
Biko.
a dessert.
That one is, I think that's mango with suman.
Okay, but it's
Mango
not
with
like a
sticky
cookie
rice.
or
It
anything
sounds
like
like
that,
a
right?
mango sticky rice. Looks like a mango sticky rice.
Oh yeah, it is. Okay, let me just. Okay, let me.
All right, good, go. So, guys, while Tito James is about to try that, they're also available on Food Panda and, of course, on Grab. It's called Kobe's Magic, and of course, the price starts at 79 pesos. How's that, Tito James? Good. Still waiting. All right, still marinating.
Yeah, it's like a mango sticky rice. Did it come with like a? You know how mango sticky rice has like a
Yeah,
sauce?
it actually has a coconut sauce. It's actually right in front of you, but it's too
Okay, 'cause
hard
that's the
for you
only
to.
thing missing. Yeah, okay, I see it now. I see it.
I
Because I'm
can
gonna say
get
the
it.
only thing kulang is it needs some kind of coconut sauce and
Yeah, they actually come in like a small pack. Actually, yeah, if you can try it later with the coconut sauce, that would be great. But again, guys, that's Colby's Magic on Facebook, Instagram, on Grab, and of course on Food Panda as well. So Tita James, let just focus on
well,
that
I
for
think it's
now.
the
Yeah.
same one,
That's
just
very
in
good.
white.
What's that? Oh yeah, they have that one. I think the other one is black rice, and this one is in the like natural white sticky rice.
I gotta say, this is my favorite. You said it was the actual bestseller,
Yeah, it's
right?
one of their best sellers, apart from the one that I was holding.
It's really good.
Biko.
It's really good.
We share your blessings, Tito James.
Mhm.
And next,
Rocket!
Tito James. Rocket's actually still sleeping. He's waiting for his time. But next we go
Rocket's
to
gonna get a sugar rush. That's that.
I'll tell Chris. So Tito James, next we go to this Vietnamese resto bar. It's called, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Could you help me pronounce this? Shincho Kwa.
Shincho Hua, maybe.
Yeah, but
Shincho.
it's actually putol. There's actually an N. So Shin Cho Quan is actually a Vietnamese style restaurant bar located in Pasay City, and they offer plenty of dishes. Just look at the vibe. Plenty of dishes from seafood and other Vietnamese dishes. So Tito James, their price varies depending on the kind of food you order. But just look at this. I mean, a really nice vibe, and it looks like it's al fresco, and they offer so many dishes. So guys, you have to check it out. Again, how do you pronounce that, Tito James?
Shincho Hua. I'm just guessing.
Chichokwa. That's pretty. That sounds pretty accurate. Sounds legit.
Yeah,
Again,
I think if you say it with an accent, it sounds authentic.
yeah, that actually sounded pretty good. Not bad, not bad. You actually would pass for
Shincho
local. Again, Chichokwa.
Hua.
Shishohuan in Facebook and Instagram. And Tito James, of course, last but not the least, we go to Hungry Paws PH. So Hungry Paws PH is actually a pet grooming hotel and pet supply shop that just recently opened in Del Monte, Quezon City. They have other branches as well, but the one in Del Monte, Quezon City just opened a month ago. And look, they even have a bathtub.
I hope it looks like it's a dog lover that opened this. I really hope it is because there's nothing quite like somebody who's doing this for the passion of it.
Actually, they are. They are pet parents, and they actually are very passionate about making sure to give a good experience to the owners themselves. The owners are the customers, and they offer this for both cats and dogs. So you can see that they also offer supplies from shampoos, dog food, cat food. And again, they're located in Banawa, Quezon City. And just look at the vibe here. It's very Instagram worthy.
Have you been there? Because you're not far from that area, are you?
Well, since I knew it, I just found out about this. I'm actually interested to check them out. Although, the only thing that I kind of have is the prices are a little bit high.
Than normal than what Rocket normally uses.
To be honest with you, Rocket's hair can cost about 1,000 pesos now, including the fluffiness.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's the prices are you saying the prices are reasonable or still a little high?
I think I think it's okay. Like now that I find out that Rockets it will cost 1,000 pesos, it's not bad. But I actually have another groomer who would cost half. But guys, for those who want to check them out, it's actually, to be honest, not bad. It's actually within range. And Tita James, look, you can even bring your cat here too. They also offer services to cats.
I like the fact that they also offer hotel, right?
Yes,
So
they
if
do. They do.
you're yeah, because that's also, for some people who don't have the option to leave it with a neighbor or family member or something like that.
That's
uh,
true.
and I'm also glad to see that there are more and more places like this popping up, because I think pet ownership has taken also a big surge during the pandemic.
Huge, huge.
Yeah, it's huge, right?
Tell
I
me
mean, they
about
went
it.
people started with plants, and then when they realized the pandemic wasn't going away, they started with other living things like pets, right? So a lot
Exactly.
I noticed that there's a lot more pet friendly places, and now pet grooming and pet care centers, and good, because I think for too long we kind of left our pets. They were not
Exactly.
they weren't given the same kind of recognition or importance they are in other countries. So I'm glad to see that we're moving ahead with that. So
Likewise.
good
So,
job.
guys, great job, Hungry Paws. And again, you can check them out on Facebook and Instagram, but better if you can check them out in their branch in Del Monte, Quezon City. And of course, try it out for yourself. Or, of course, if you have friends or relatives who you can recommend this place to, please check them out. Hungry Paws, Facebook, Instagram, and their branch in Del Monte, Banawe, Quezon City. Well, that's all actually we have for this week's edition of Free Plug Friday. Tito James. Stay safe, guys, and always sanitize the clockers. This is X. Peace out. Enjoy your weekend. Bye. Good luck with the raffle. Woohoo!
All right, that was X with Free Plug Friday, and that was, of course, our little initiative to help local businesses. If you have a small business and you think you qualify for this, pop us a message here at Deaconitis on Instagram, and we'll be happy to feature you as well. Costs you absolutely nothing, so there you go. Just pop us a message and let us take care of the rest. There's usually a little bit of a waiting list, but sometimes people drop off for some reason or another. So you know what? Try your luck. Try your luck out. Okay, so that's that. Now we head on to another segment that a lot of people like. It's called Ask Me Anything, and it's brought to you by Mobilite on Mapagala. Okay, folks, Ask Me Anything. Actually, this is one of my favorite parts of the show because I get to ramble. I just like to freestyle it. Okay, hi, Sir James. If a car was parked and left unattended the whole night and found out the next morning the car had minor scratches, is there a rule or policy regarding street parking that we can oblige the one who made the scratches to pay for the damage? Thank you, sir. Ooh, wait. Do that again. Can you zoom it in again? How do you know who made the scratches though? Because if you can oblige the one who made those scratches to pay, obviously if somebody damages your car and you caught them, you know them, then yes, of course you can. Because even if the car is illegally parked, I know this is gonna ruffle a few feathers, but there's separate incidents, right? There's no two wrongs don't make a right. You can't just take the law into your own hands and scratch a car as much as we like to. I know it's crossed my mind too. But yeah, you're not supposed to do that. So yes, of course, if you do know who the person is who scratched your car, yes, they will have to pay for it as well. So I hope that answers your question. On a separate note, and this is again separate because you shouldn't relate the two. Don't naman park overnight is if you're not supposed to be there overnight. and you're going to block somebody's driveway or block somebody's access or take somebody's parking. So a little consideration of the month. I'm just assuming that, judging by the message, it seemed like a little bit of a revenge act. That's what it sounds like to me, because why would you bring in the backstory parking overnight and then getting your car scratched, unless it sounds to me like somebody was trying to make a point. Again, doesn't make it right. You shouldn't do it. But yes, if you catch a person, they are obliged to pay. Next. Okay, pop this up again because this is really. Hey, is this? Oh, this is the senator. Oh, wow. Can you pop this up again? Okay. Hi, James. I just read your GC story. May I ask which mall is that? I authored the Gift Check Act in the Senate that is now a law. Those things you mentioned are frowned upon and prohibited under our law. Let me know how I can help. Wow. Okay. Hey, well, firstly, if you're watching, Senator, thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate that. I I'll let you know privately. How about that? Because again, a lot of people brought this up with me. Why don't you talk about the shop? Why don't you mention the store? And I'm not. I'm tempted to. I really am. But the thing is, I gotta understand, and I would like other people to understand what we try to do here on the page. We're not here to bully people or solve my personal problems. And if I mention the name of the store, it becomes about me and my issue with that store. It takes the focus off the general problem. By removing the name of the store, it does a couple of things, at least in my mind. One, we focus on the general problem, which is obviously big enough because that post went viral. I think it's up to about, I think it's 55,000 likes or something like that. So a lot of people felt it. They really, we hit a nerve, right? So it's obvious we have a general problem out there. If we mention the name of the store, it becomes about me and that store. It also boxes that store into a corner. I'm not saying that they don't deserve it because it was bad treatment, but it boxes them into a corner. And sometimes you got to give people a graceful way out. So I'm trying to give them a graceful way out by giving everyone the opportunity to see just how people really feel about it. If you're a business owner and you have GCs and you accept GCs, you're going to have just read this post. Go over there and check out this 3,800 comments. There's not one person there in 3,800 that says this is okay. No, they hate it. It really boils their blood. And all these people are commenting. Almost everyone has had a similar experience. So you really have to address it. That's all. That's the only reason why I don't want to name the store, because I don't want to take the focus off the real problem. And I don't also want to use the page to bully. I have named sometimes, and that's usually when their communication breaks down. And there's no other way, right? They just basically don't want to listen, or they're just being really, then they need to be called out by name. But in this case, let's just deal with the general problem, which is start treating GCs either like cash or better than cash, because the fact that you got the money up front already should give that person special treatment. And Migs, you can't join the raffle. I'm sorry. You can afford your own staycation. All right. So next up, good day, Sir James. I saw you on YouTube. You bought an MG. How was the infotainment? I saw another YouTube said the infotainment is bad. Wow, no, mine's great. I hope you can give your experience with the infotainment, because the HG is a candidate I'm considering. I wonder what they have a problem with the infotainment, because that's actually one of the things I love the most about the interior of that car. I own a VW Jetta. So after 2 years, the VW Jetta infotainment broke down. The touchscreen is not responsive anymore, and it's no longer covered by warranty. Okay, well, mine's a little too new for that. A new VW Jetta, wow, a Jetta infotainment costs $170. Yeah, okay, I can see where this guy's PTSD is coming from. So he's a bit traumatized by bad infotainment, and then he was okay. All right, I'm glad you were able to find a seller for an infotainment, because the 170K is absolutely silly. I mean, that's just ridiculous for an infotainment system. You're not even getting the specs of a iPad in there, and they're charging you for like a MacBook Pro or an iPad Pro 1 terabyte. No, not even. You won't even pay 170 grand for a 1 terabyte iPad Pro with pencil and and all the chucherias that come with it, right? Like the keyboard, etc. So to charge that for an infotainment system of a car is highway robbery. And I think this is where also, sorry to take the focus off a bit, but this is where casas really need to get their act together. You know what? People have woken up already. People are no longer impressed by your this sacredness of the casa, because you guys are doing work that pretty much anyone else can do, provided they have the diagnostic equipment, right? And they have the proper equipment given, which a lot of other third party branches do now. A lot of third party car care centers are offering these same services as casa. So you guys better start getting your act together. 170K for an infotainment system, absolutely ridiculous. Now back to your question. I can only comment on the usability of it now. I can't comment about what it's going to be like in 2 years, because obviously I have no idea how that works. It doesn't, these things don't gradually get slower and slower. I think they just kind of break, right? The UI of this so far has been great, easy. In fact, it's, like I said, one of the things I really like the most about the car, because it's big too. So it's got a great size. And I have a Kicks as well. So Nissan Kicks is a much smaller infotainment. It's about 7 inches, I think. And I think the one of the MG is about 10 or almost 11 inches. So when you go there, when I go back to the Kicks, it's like, what's that? What's the way you say again? Because I'm used to that big screen. So yeah, I can't really comment on that, aside from my experience has been great, and I'll keep an eye out for it. Obviously, if I have any issues with the cars, I will share it here, because I know a lot of people follow it as well. So happy to share. But right now, nada. Yeah, don't go to casa maintenance and accessories for your car. Most of the time, it's overpriced, like the Celeron laptop with the depth head. Yeah. I mean, like, I know some casas are trying to get better at it. They're starting to realize they have competition, and they're starting to realize also that, provided, I don't know if we have this as a law yet here, but in other countries, this is what they call third line forcing, where you insist that it has to be done at the casa in order to maintain warranty. In other countries, they are very strict about this. They say, so long as it's done to this standard, meaning it's a licensed mechanic with the license, with the proper equipment, they cannot deny you your warranty. So even if it's done outside the casa. So I hope we also start getting better with that in terms of laws, as well as in terms of casas, just being reasonable about it. Like, don't demand 170 for an infotainment system. Come on. And also, I've also replaced like the infotainment system of the Nissan Urban. Not that it was a proper infotainment, but I put one in, and that was like a 12-inch growl system. That was really good. Also, I did the same thing with the Trailblazer, put a 10-inch, I think, growl system. And those things worked really, really well all the way up until the end. It did start to get slow, and it started to feel a little bit clumsy after about, what was the Trailblazer? It was a 2014 model. And so it was already 7 years old when I started to get a little, I started to lose the love for it. No, maybe 6 years or so. But that's a long time for something that's about 10 grand, 15 grand, something like that. I can't remember exactly what I paid for it, but it was nowhere near 170. But I don't think it was also 8 grand. So also look around for aftermarket infotainment systems, because there are some really good ones out there. The Growl one, I had no problem with it. So go. Next. Peter James, I know you're busy. Well, it's too late now. I've seen your message. It'd be rude to ignore it. My personal question lang, how's the MG HS so far? Wow, a lot of people ask about this. Huh? Maglabas din sana kami ng wife ko po. I almost watch all reviews of YouTube and all, but since Lodi ikaw, just want to know your personal experience. Okay, what I think I'll narrow it down to anything I've had an issue with, because I love the car, and I just don't want to sound like a broken record, because it is every time I jump in it and drive it, I always feel this is a really nice car. You know how it's been how many months now, and I still get that new car vibe from it. I still get that this is comfortable. It feels premium inside. I think that's the key. That's the key as well, because after the new car smell dies down and the euphoria of a new car, which will always kind of die down, you're left with what? And if what you touch inside, what you smell, what you feel is luxurious, or it feels like it's good quality, it translates the feeling of quality to you long after the magic has died or gone. So that's what the MG really does well. It uses some really nice materials in the car. I think it's well insulated, so it's quiet. The gearbox is probably the only thing that's a little controversial with the car. And I say controversial because I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It just is not to everyone's liking. And I can appreciate and understand the people who don't like it because it is a little different. It uses a sequential manual gearbox or a direct clutch system or dual clutch system. And that means it has a little bit of a lag when you shift, especially in first gear or first to second. So you get this feeling sometimes that you can get this bit of a unresponsive loop. But I've learned to drive around it because I understand what's going on in the gearbox and I know there's nothing wrong with it. So I just drive it because it is technically like a manual car with an automatic override. So I just pretend it's a manual car without a clutch and I just lift off the gas just a little bit when I know it's about to shift. But I love driving. So for me, it's no chore. I can feel what the car is doing. I love to feel what the car is doing because I feel like, I can understand what's going on there with the gearbox, etc. So if you're just a little sensitive to your car, you'll just know exactly when it's about to shift. All I do is just a little bit of a lift off, not a full, just a little. And it just allows the gear to, and I tend to have fun with it. In fact, I prefer to a traditional automatic gearbox, but that's just me. So, answer your question. So far, I have nothing but praises for the car. The only problem I had was a dead battery once with the key fob, which they replaced. Oh, and when they replaced it, they were not able to program it because it would take a long time, and I needed to pick the car up. But that's the only other thing is when you replace your key fobs, it needs to be reprogrammed. You can't just replace the battery and then be done with it. At least with the MG, they need to reprogram it so that it also works when they need to do something. Okay. All right, that's that. Next, MG4. Wow, nice. I'm looking forward to that. I really think the MG is a great value for money, by the way. I really like, especially the HS Trophy, because that one really, really feels like a really good package. Next, did you visit the PIMS? Yes, I did. I hosted the opening for Nissan. I didn't, get to go around much. Unfortunately, I know that's lame, but I had somewhere to go after the launch, so I had to run out. But I thought the displays were really nice. X thought you went around a lot. How would you compare it to Mia's? Bigger displays by the manufacturers? No, just
Bigger, some of them are okay. But the highlight is Ellie Buendia and Rico Blanco.
oh, Eli Buendia, Rico Blanco.
Star-studded.
But that's just first day, right?
Yeah, it's
So
just
they can.
Thursday.
Now we're gonna make them feel bad because like that was yesterday. So yeah, they tend to have gone all out, the manufacturers. So their booths were really really nice. Um, yeah, all out. So before I used to feel a little bit weird about it because I was like, why are we having two car shows and we're dividing that audience? But now I think the industry is big enough that it can host two. We can actually host two car shows in a year, Mias and PIMS. And I think this one is more for the manufacturers. That's why it's called PIMS. But no, actually, it's got nothing to do with that. It's got to do with CAMPI. CAMPI is the Chamber of Automotive Manufacturers. So it's the difference between that and the importers. So you've got the Toyotas, you've got the Nissans, you've got they tend to just be, they go all out. So now car enthusiasts are rewarded with two shows a year instead of just one. So I would highly recommend going down because it is, do they even charge an entrance fee anymore?
Yes, 200 pesos.
So they still do, okay.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay. So it's 200 pesos, but hey, that's a movie. And you can spend all day there and have fun and go around. If you're looking for a car, it's the best place to go shopping. Wow. A bird just landed. We're on the 39th floor. Yeah, right. It just landed on the window. 39 floors up. Okay. All right. So I hope that answers your question there. I think we can take a couple more. Yeah. Did the mall reached out to you? No, they did not, because that's another thing is they didn't know. I mean, they didn't. There wasn't a scene or anything. I didn't like make bukaka there, or is that, what's the word? Scandalo. I didn't make scandalo or anything. It's not like I had a meltdown or anything like that. I mean, I mentioned it. I did say, like it's a little awkward. Especially there was one part there where we were. This might give away the store. Okay, I'll just keep it generic, right? But there was this. One of the things was, would you like to avail of our membership, right? And I was like, membership? No, not really. I was like, no, not really, because sometimes I just hate filling out things, and I hate having my data, somewhere else, right? And then they said, no, sir. Actually, if you get the memberships based on the amount that you spent, right, you're going to get like 1,000 pesos back. Oh, that's a bit. That's now we're talking something, right? Now this is no longer just getting a free plastic card or something. This is worthwhile. So nobody wants to say no to a free 1,000 pesos. So I said, sure, let's do it. So I filled out this paper, and I filled out the name, the number, the blah blah blah, and it was on a pad, right? So it's a pad dedicated to this membership, and so I gave that back. And then the girl said, "Hi, GC pala. Sir, ano lang, I'll call my supervisor." That's when the 30-minute, not naman 30. The call to the supervisor is about 5 or 7 minutes, something like that. But in that time, the supervisor said, no, they can't use the GCs and get the membership on top of that. It's like, why not? I mean, it's good as cash. Why would you deny that? So anyway, I said, no, never mind. I didn't want to make scandal. So I just said, never mind, never mind. It's okay, it's okay. And I took my piece of paper, and that's where it got awkward, because we were tug of warring. And she wouldn't let go of the paper. And even I had someone with me who was going, this is really awkward. I was saying, yes, it's awkward. Miss, let go. But she wouldn't let go. And I was like, why won't you let go? I just didn't want my data out there, because I'm not going to get the membership. I don't want it. I don't want to give. But her point was, no, now it's a serial numbered pad. So they have to account for that. But she didn't explain it. So it just got really awkward. But nobody lost the plot. So no, to answer your question, the establishment did not know about this. I did not say I'm posting this on TikTok. So they have no idea. Or if they do, it was just by chance that they saw it and they remembered the experience today. But I didn't even complain to the management, but I will. I just wanted to see how the post would go as well. And then I will and I'll probably even tell Senator Mix. I mean, he sent the message, right? So I'll probably tell him not to get anyone fired, but guys, you gotta adjust now. Come on, this is ridiculous. All right, last, I think. No, yeah, okay, we'll see. G to James, what's your take on bringing back Uber? I really hope they would do that, because it's so hard to book Grab and the fare is so high now. Faye. I would love to bring back Uber. Unfortunately, they did sign some kind of a non-compete clause with Grab, which, by the way, nothing happened with the Philippine, what do you call it? Anti-monopoly. There's another term for it. Anti-competition board. There's a board that basically regulates monopolies and stuff like that. And they were after this. They investigated this, but as far as I know, nothing happened with it. And they literally did buy out Uber and agreed that Uber will never come back in, so they have a monopoly. Philippine Competition Commission. So if anyone's there from the Competition Commission, please let us know what happened, because yes, the Faye is absolutely right. The prices of Grab never stabilized. They never got better. They got worse. The service got worse. And people now are we're back to square one. But that's exactly what I was worried about. When I went there in 2017 and argued for the motoring public to keep Uber, I was saying, please don't turn this into another taxi. That's all we ask. But you're regulating it like a taxi. And if you regulate it like a duck, it will walk like a duck, it will act like a duck, and therefore it will be a duck. So please regulate it something different. Give it some bespoke regulation, but they didn't do that. So we ended up with this situation that we're in now. And everybody's pretending that everybody who could have done something about it is just ignoring the elephant in the room and pretending we're in a better situation. We are not. And look at the traffic out there. The traffic out there is absolutely appalling. It's worse than pre-pandemic. A lot of people will agree with that. And what are they doing? They're just doing more and more coding. They're trying to get us to do more coding, more coding, more coding, more coding. They should have been investing in this ride-sharing model, because I guarantee you, while it would have hurt the automotive industry to a certain degree, a little bit, because it's not, I don't think it really would have, to be honest. Maybe a little bit, because people wouldn't be buying as many cars in the city, but that means they could be buying them for the provinces as well. You build your market outside of Metro Manila. But if you create a system that's more efficient, you don't need to create laws, right? People will always flock to the path of least resistance. This is human nature. So if you give them a better and more efficient alternative, which is ride sharing, a good ride sharing program where you could get a car within a minute or two of pressing the button, and there were is enough cars out there to pick you up, and we didn't have choosy drivers, and the fares were reasonable because there was good competition, I tell you, people would not be buying so many cars, because owning a car in a city like this is not a plus. It does not necessarily translate to independence, which is why we like to buy private vehicles. It only translates to independence now because the public transportation system and the options suck. They really suck. So that's the only reason why we consider this independence. But if we were given an alternative where ride sharing was run efficiently and it had a little bit, it was cost efficient as well, or we had better public transportation, you wouldn't need to have a law. You wouldn't need to force people. People would gravitate towards that because it is the path of least resistance. Works any culture anywhere in the world, right? It's not rocket science. But no, they took away Uber and they never gave us anything back. And they gave us a worse situation by forcing us to use just one. Horrendous traffic now with face-to-face classes. Absolutely. You know, it's shocking now how much time I've been wasting in the car, and especially since classes started. And you know what? Here's another thing. Can I just rant for a little bit here once that before we get to the raffle? The thing about the face-to-face classes that's driving me absolutely freaking crazy is I have my youngest is still in high school. My youngest is almost finishing high school, right? And they have face-to-face classes now, but only until 11 or 12. Why? For COVID. You're already there. How does spending the rest of the afternoon expose you more? Am I the only one that sees how silly that is? So you have the face-to-face class, you have the traffic that generates, but you're going to end them at 12 noon, or some days 11, because, well, COVID. We're just being careful. No, you're not. You're being silly. You're already there. It's either they don't go or they go for the whole day. If you don't expose them any longer, they've been in a classroom for 4 or 5 hours. What's the other 3? So there. That was the last minute rant. I'm going to end on a nice note. How about that? Let's end on a very nice note. And by the way, I don't know if Daisy's commenting about the classes, but tuitions did not go down during COVID. In fact, ours went up. So I really think that, despite the fact that we're absorbing all the home costs, electricity, and all the other costs that go with running keeping a kid educated at home. So there. So, all right. So that's that. And now we are into the final portion, everybody's favorite, at least Rocket's favorite portion. It is raffle time! Woo! All right, the Titoclock is brought to you by Motolite, Petron, Auto Kid, Ogawa, Malayan Insurance, and of course, Skinave. His Royal Hairness over here with his new hairdo is going to do the honors. Hey, work first before before you start sniffing. All right.
Show them some stuff about the Makati Suites.
Okay, so let's show them. Yeah, let's show them what's up for grabs. Because you're gonna love this. Look at this place. This is really nice. And you see that TV over there that pops out. That like it's electronic. It pops out of the cabinet like that, and then it disappears into it. It's really cool. This is about almost 13,000 for a night here, and it's really really nice. They got lagoon pool. They've got like a 500 square meter gym. It's a great place to relax. They've got their own mall. It's really a nice concept actually, and the restaurants are really great because they have all these restaurants like Balesin. They copy the countries that they're from, really down to the last detail. So they do almost 13,000 per night. And if you go downstairs to the Greek restaurant, Japanese restaurant, I think there's a bunch of them. They're so authentic. So try them out. Okay, and hopefully you win. Really, hopefully you win. Rocket, this is the last piece already. Last piece, but you're gonna have to work for it. Okay, right? Deal. Okay, when that thing comes up, all you need to do is press that button, and you get fed. See, there are dogs in Africa that have to walk like 30 miles just to get something like this. Something such a spoiled little. That's the wrong one there. And then, of course, X-rating video of Rocket, even though he's on video. I wish you could see what's happening here. Every time Rocket draws, X, his mom, will put the phone out and she'll video him, even though we're being video. We're already talking to everybody. She'll video. I don't know what you do with the videos.
Don't even upload it.
And you don't even upload it. And it's the same video every week. I mean, it's doing the same thing. May you all find a human quite like that looks at you like that. All right, Rocket, that's that. If you have 24 hours to claim your prize, pop us a message or pop him a message on the.rocket.launcher. No, just the.rocket.launcher with a screenshot as proof. And that's that. That pretty much ends Titoclock. And we thank you for joining us. Rocket, thanks you very much for all the adoration and all the praises and all the awes out there. And we hope you can join us again next Friday, same time, same place. Till next week, drive safely, everyone.
Fancy meeting you in my internet. Couldn't help but notice your smile, while everybody else around us is surfing about. Can we just stop and chat a while? Get away from these gray and boring, lonesome days of our quarantine. Early yet to say what lies ahead. It's just the first day of the rest of our lives. Love could be waiting at the end of this quarantine. Let's stop